The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Yule. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle, where you can access your full potential right now. Finally break free from destructive habits. That dream life, if you want it, you can have it. This is where you transform your health, mind, business, and relationships. Or do nothing and keep your life the way it is. But if you're ready for change, you're in the right place. This is where you're gonna learn how to live a habit-based lifestyle. You are tuning in to the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with your host, Jesse Yule. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle. Let's go.
Have you ever felt this feeling of not having enough? Have you ever felt this feeling of lack? Like you just don't have the resources to be successful. What if you actually had a habit of scarcity? Like even if you had enough, you still wouldn't see it. You see, scarcity is not a natural law of the universe. It's not a spiritual law. So even with me saying that, it's easy to discredit it. It's easy to be like, okay, so what? You see, for many years, I carried around this shame and guilt that I didn't have enough. I didn't make enough money. I didn't have the actual resources I needed to be successful. And if I go all the way back to 2002, 2003, I didn't even have a car. At the time, I can remember moving to Seattle, and one of the friends I had at that time drove me across the state in his own truck. Drove me across the state, and all I had in the back of the truck was a few boxes of clothes and some keepsakes. I had no furniture. Literally, I had nothing. And what I did have was simply a place to be able to go, to be able to create a new opportunity. But in this place, I was in the lowest place of my life at the time. You know the feeling when most of the shit you're eating at that time is rice, cheap ground beef, maybe some green beans mixed in, and a little bit of protein powder. You see, I was in survival mode. I was in so much scarcity, constantly looking for the next thing. I couldn't even see the possibility of more. I couldn't see anything. I was simply closed off to everything around me. And even then, every day I had to borrow a car. Every day I had to borrow a car. I would literally trade my services of selling steroids and weed and my connections through those just to be able to pay for rent and borrowing a car. I got a job as a personal trainer. I was living in Puyallup, Washington at the time, and I had to drive 90 minutes every day to work. I worked up by the airport, Seattle-Tacoma Airport, but I had to literally drive 90 minutes every single day to work. Some days, if I left late, it may take 2 hours. Some days, if I left early, it may take only 60 minutes, but most days, it took me 90 minutes. And on those same days, every single day, I would wake up in the morning and I would take this hit. Yeah, I would smoke weed every single day, all day. As soon as I got up to, as soon as I walked in to the gym, also before my workouts, and then before I went to bed. I was in so much pain at the time. It was the only thing that would actually numb it out. I can just remember this feeling of being alone, lost, isolated, and just simply wanting more for my life. But I couldn't even see more because I was so closed off to it. I was so scarce in how everything I operated in. And that went on for several years. That went on up until about 2004. And I actually had gotten an opportunity to work at another gym. I got an opportunity to work at a gym closer by my house, and I began to rebuild myself. And I began to rebuild myself by just simply being able to see more around me. Now, if you're stuck in this place of scarcity, you're like, man, how the hell do I get out of here? How the hell do I see more when I'm stuck, when I can't even see that possibility? And I'm not going to lie to you, it takes a lot of work. It doesn't just take thinking, but it takes a lot of work to get out of that place. Now, at the time, I couldn't see it. I had a house to live in. I had some food. I had some money. I had some resources, weed, steroids that I could make some money on. I was also, doing some side hustle work, and I was working at a gym. With all those things, even I couldn't see beyond that. But most recently, back in August, me and my family moved to Southern California after selling our house, selling our gyms, and just relocating here. And since moving here, I started feeling this feeling again. Since moving here, I started feeling this feeling again. Now more than ever, I have some financial freedom that I've never actually had. But the cost of living has doubled from where we were in Washington, between our house, schools for our kids, even working for another company. And these same feelings of scarcity began to come up, these same feelings of isolating, these same feelings of lack, these feelings of not having enough resources began to come up for me. And as they came up, I began to look around me. And this went over the course of like 3 to 4 weeks. It's like, shit, man, what is going on? But I began to start looking around me, looking at my beautiful wife, my 3 amazing kids, a house with a $2 or $3 million view, the ocean, living literally 5 minutes from the ocean. I can see the ocean, Catalina Island, out of my back of my house. Any window in the back of my house, I can see it. More financial resources than ever before. And I was in the beginning stages of building a new business that I was launching. I even had my own office and my own gym. You see, I had to recreate this whole new version of me. I had to lose my identity. And because I had to lose that identity, it felt like I was in a scarce place. It was a 20-year identity that I had left, and now I was feeling like I was in this scarce place. Yet on the other side of it, I had massive abundance. I have massive abundance like I've never had before. And in my mind, it wanted to go back to scarcity. And from this place, I had to begin to ground myself. I had to begin to recreate this new level of abundance in my life. But I can't do it. I couldn't do it if I was closed off to seeing new possibilities. You see, scarcity simply closes us off to even seeing more, wanting more. And how can I have enough if I'm stuck feeling lack or feeling like I don't have enough every single day? And how can I create more if I'm not open to it? How can I create more in my life if I'm simply not open to it? And so what I want you to understand is this. I'm in a better place financially than I've ever been. Maybe you're not in that place. Maybe you're in a place that you're struggling like you never have. But just like I did back in 2002, 2003, 2004, I had to recreate abundance in my life. I had to begin to even look at small things. You see, take note and begin to look at the small things in your life. Even if I look outside today, I see the sun, I see the water, I see that I have my own building, my own space. Maybe you have your own house, maybe you're renting a house. but you have a roof over your head. You have the trees, you have the sun, you have all these things around you, but if you don't notice them, you're not going to open yourself up to more. If you don't see them, how can you see more abundantly? So as I began to open up, I began to recreate at a whole new level and see all of the gifts in my life. And if you haven't done that yet, you may want to pull out a journal and begin doing that. And if you're feeling scarcity, realize this one thing, that you're not alone. There's a lot of people that feel scarcity every single day. There's a lot of people that feel this lack. There's a lot of people that feel this not having enough. It's a normal feeling. But like I said in the beginning, it is not a natural law of the universe. It's one that we created in our own mind. So if I created this in my own mind, guess what? I have the opportunity to create something different. I have an opportunity to create something different. You see, abundance is a natural law of the universe. And if you learn to tap into it, you can see the possibility of more. You can see the possibility of having more. But first, you're going to have to ground yourself. So as I began to do this, I started to ask myself some different questions. You see, because the questions I was asking then were all driven by lack and not having enough. And when I ask those type of questions, guess what answers I have? I don't have enough, and I'm feeling lack. So my feelings are driven over by all the facts that are really what's happening. So the questions I began to ask myself were this. Look around you in your life. You have exactly what you need right in front of you. You have exactly what you've called forward right in front of you. There are unlimited resources all around you. Are you even open to receiving them? Are you even open to receiving any of the resources around you, even if they're right in front of you? For many days, I would say no. As I began to look at it, I began to see some different things. Take note of the resources around you. Are you asking from a place of lack or not enough? Because typically when I ask from those places, I feel lack. I feel not enough. And are you clearing out bad energy? You see, one of the things that I've found is as I began sharing when I felt like I didn't have enough, or even journaling, this helped me see that I actually do have enough. So if you're sitting there, how do I even start? Pull out a journal. Begin to write down your feelings. Begin to write down your emotions, but also begin to write down what you have enough of currently. And are you setting a daily intention around abundance? Or are you setting a daily intention around scarcity? Because if you set an intention around scarcity, guess what you're going to call forward? More scarcity. So the final words are this: whatever you call forward is what you're going to get. If you call scarcity forward, guess what? You're going to get more scarcity. If you call abundance forward, it's going to naturally come to you because it is a spiritual law of the universe. Scarcity will only be created by you in your own mind. It is not natural, but our mind wants to take us there. One of the simplest ways to stop is just to begin writing, talking about it. Because as we do that, we don't feel alone. We don't feel isolated. Guys, I appreciate you being on here today. Hit me up in an email. Let me know if I can help you in any way. I would love to set up a 30-minute call with you. You can email me, jesse@habitbasedlifestyle.com. I have been in scarcity. I've been in massive scarcity. I've also been in abundance. So wherever you're at in life, just reach out. If you can't get out, reach out to me. Let's see if we can get up a 30-minute call together and get you out of this place. You can also check out my website, habitbasedlifestyle.com. Guys, until next episode, have an awesome day.
The purpose of this show is to guide you to realign with habits that get you to live the life you've always dreamed of. This is the Habit-Based Lifestyle Podcast with Jesse Ewing.